Here we are, everybody. I'm here with Deborah, who is our medical grant assistant and also helps us with fundraising. And I'm going to introduce you to Dustin and Presley, who already has my heart. She looks made of velvet. Like, I just want to reach in there and say hi to her.
That's all she wants.
So Dustin, I was reading your story. It really touched my heart. Number one, you were very honest in your application, which I know Deborah and our medical team that reviews the applications really appreciates people that are honest. And, a lot of times you need something or you want something, but not everybody is as honest as you were about kind of what happened and, the story of Presley. And I know for Deborah and I, who have worked in the rescue community for many years, it really touched our heart. So why don't you start by kind of just telling us the story of how you met her?
It was August 2019. I was on lunch at work, just sitting in my car, and I got a phone call from a coworker that said that there was this gray pit up in traffic trying to walk up to people's car doors. And he knows that I'm an animal lover and I had dog food in my car because there's a lot of strays in Memphis and I like to feed them when I can. So I drove up there and got her out of traffic and pulled over to the gas station and opened my door to get out to give her some food. And she was really skinny and her nipples were hanging low, like she had babies previously or had been dumped or something like that. And when I opened my door, she jumped right across me and jumped in my passenger seat and just looked at me. And it was raining outside too. And just looked at me with those eyes. And I couldn't kick her out of my car. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I took her to the vet that was right down the street to make sure she wasn't microchipped and she wasn't chipped, which I had a feeling she wasn't. And asked the vet down the street if they had recognized her, and they didn't. So I took her back to work, and my boss let me bring her in. And we just had some old seat belts that we tied together and used as a leash. Brought her into the shop, and I didn't know what we were going to do with her that day because I had just recently separated from my wife like 2-3 days prior. So I was actually living in my car, honestly. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I could not leave her. So that night we spent the night in my car and we went back to work the next day. My boss was really nice enough to let me bring her to work because she's just so chill. She just hung out in the shop with us. She started meeting people over the next few days, and everybody realized how sweet she was. But I knew I couldn't keep her at that time. I didn't know my situation, what I was doing. I was trying to get back with my wife, and we lived somewhere that didn't allow dogs, and we had 3 cats. And at that point, what I thought is I could not keep her, but I just couldn't abandon her. So I reached out to a live rescue, and they got back to me. I told them the story of how I found her and everything, and they got back to me, and Renice called me, and we talked on the phone for like an hour and a half. And I just was completely honest with her about my situation and everything. And she was honest, where they were. She was about where they were and how they needed fosters at the time. And she said that they could do a found foster program where I foster her until find her a home. So I was like, okay, let me figure this out. So I just got honest with my mom and called my mom and told her what was going on with me and my ex at the time. And she, of course, she was like, come, please come. And I showed up with this dog didn't tell her she was coming and alive, got her in the vet, found out she was heartworm positive. So we had to go through all that. And throughout the treatment, that takes time. She's going to work with me every day. I'm realizing that me and my wife aren't getting back together. So I need to, figure out what I'm going to do. And I was just really, really low. I was drinking a lot. I was doing drugs. It was all of the above. I was doing it all. I was really, really low. I was thinking about killing myself. Like there were points where I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I'd look over at this right here, or she'd just come and look at me or sit with me. Yes, thank you. And give me the love that I needed at that time. And, sorry, she like just bonded with me like fully. I mean, I've had dogs my whole life, and I've always loved dogs, but the connection that I felt with her was just unlike anything I've ever felt. Like we saved each other in a way. And so I knew I couldn't let her go. So I called Renice, and Renice was completely understandable. Like she was happy that I was going to keep her. And so I had to find a place to move in to get her. I found a place about a month later. My mom was nice enough to let me stay with her. Truth be told, if this has been 3 years now, if I was still at home with my mom, she'd be happy. But me and Presley moved out at the place I'm at now. And, life has been great ever since. She goes to work with me every single day. She's our mascot at work. She gets spoiled rotten. All the customers love her. She's never met a stranger. She's just the most absolute perfect dog. And I can't understand why somebody would abandon her or use her as a puppy mill. I don't know what her past was, but I know the last 3 years have been the best ever.
Yeah, I mean, just remarkable. And Renice actually is a good friend of ours. I'm going to be very honest with everybody. Deborah and I have both done a lot for Alive Rescue in Chicago and worked with them a lot. And Renice and Deborah are great friends. And I've learned to love Renice through the rescue world as well. So
Yeah,
I can understand her talking to you on the phone for 90 minutes about one single dog. It's Renice.
So Renice.
So, 3 things kind of on your application stood out. And I know you talked about, I think you lost your job as well during COVID.
I did.
You obviously lost your wife. And then just, the fact that you really did hit rock bottom, and that somebody like Presley, a dog like Presley, came in and saved your life. Those things
Absolutely.
really stuck out to me. So can you kind of tell us the diagnosis and the prognosis at this point?
Yeah. So I felt a lump on the top of her head about a month ago, and I thought maybe she just bumped it, and it didn't go away after a couple of weeks. And I knew she had to go to the vet to get her heartworm prevention shot. So I just told them whenever she's getting that shot, check her head. They called me and said that they were going to have to biopsy it. And so we did the biopsy, of course. It came back, and she said it was a mast cell tumor, and that we needed to do the surgery, and that after the surgery, she was going to refer me to an oncologist, which I had no clue there were dog oncologists. But for now, she does have to have the surgery to remove the mass that's kind of back here on the back of her head. It's about the size of about the size of a quarter, and about a 1/4 inch thick. But yeah, that is what it was. And oddly enough, my mom has breast cancer right now. She got it about 4 years ago, and it came back about 3 months ago. And so she's in chemo right now. And so me and Presley go see her a lot because chemo just wrecks your body, like absolutely wrecks your body. And so she's had to quit her job. And so me and Presley go see my mom about 4 nights a week, take her dinner, take care of her. So cancer just kind of hits home in a really awful way.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you the most ironic thing is happening, because I just interviewed somebody else who has a dog that has to get chemo, and his mom is also going through chemo, and they both had
Wow.
their first treatment in the same week. So
Wow.
a crazy coincidence and really awful. So I'm so sorry, Dustin, to hear that. Well, the good news is you passed all my tests, so we're gonna help you with all the funding for Presley.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh, did you hear that, baby? Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I can't wait to call my mom. I wish she was right here with me right now.
Yeah, it's the least we can do. So please, I know you've been in touch with Deborah, but it's surgery scheduled. Let's get any testing that you've already had paid for. We can reimburse you if you've already paid for it. And then anything she needs in the future, if another bump or lump pops up, we've got that for you too. So the biggest thing is we want to keep the dog that has kept you alive. We want to keep her alive. That's the key.
Oh my goodness. Thank y'all so much. I don't like to ask for help a lot. So this took a lot for me to do, and I really, 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 really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Like, this is the most important thing in my life. So this and my mother. So I can't thank y'all enough. I really can't.
You're welcome. And I don't know how I'm going to stop myself from coming to meet her. I'm going to have to take the drive.
Oh, please come meet her. If y'all are ever in Memphis, please.
We're taking a trip for sure. I'll tell her niece.
Yes, please. She's a sweetheart.
I'm in love with her. Like, she's just been so sweet sitting there. And you were talking, I just was like, mesmerized on her.
She's going to do real quick. Say, Larry.
Oh,
Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Larry was found in the same parking lot as Presley. 1 year to the day later, I found him. He was dreaded and matted, and he was an alive dog. He was adopted and sent to Chicago, and he bit the girl. She sent him back. He bit me like 10 times before that. He was a wild child. I've got scars. He's a wild one. But since he came back from Chicago, it's been a year and a half. He has not even thought about biting me once, and he's the greatest little companion to Presley. It's alive. He's another alive, wonderful dog.
I feel like that was meant to be the year apart, and just him.
It was, and they love each other. Well, I say they love each other. He loves her like insanely. She just deals with him. She loves me.
Oh, it's so sweet. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Thank you.
Presley's a Roo dog for life, and you're in Live Like Roo forever. There's no getting out of it now. So anything that you need, please let us know. It can be as simple as a new dog bed, or if she loves tennis balls, anything like that, please let us know. You guys, and we're here for you.
Thank you so much.